Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. This time we are going to be talking about Pokemon Yellow for the Game Boy. I guess that kind of goes without saying that it's for the Game Boy. Anyway, let's get into the story. So, like the other two Pokemons, Red, Blue, and I guess I'll throw Green in there too, even though it wasn't really released in the US at the time. Your goal is to go around, collect as many Pokemon as you can, defeat all of the gym leaders, and then eventually become the Pokemon champion by defeating the Final Four and your rival, in this case, Gary. There are a few differences between Red and Blue and Pokemon Yellow. Mostly the fact that they've got different Pokemon in them, and Pokemon Yellow gives you Pikachu to start out with. It's kind of a shame that you don't get to select between Pikachu and Eevee in this, but whatever. It would have to be called something else. So whatever. It's still kind of fun that they give you an electric Pokemon since he kind of became the mascot for the whole series and plays a big role in the cartoon. Or the anime, sorry. Pokemon Yellow actually follows some of the plotline from the anime, which is pretty cool. In this one, you can get the other three starters, so you can get your Squirtle, your Bulbasaur, and the Charmander, and they kind of get referenced to like different episodes kind of get referenced. You pick up the Bulbasaur because he was abused by his former trainer. You pick up a Squirtle because it was kind of causing mischief and whatnot. And I don't remember in the anime why they picked up the Charmander, but in this case, you pick up your Charmander because some guy doesn't know how to take care of him. Or in the world of Pokemon, some other 10-year-old who just has some serious absentee parents doesn't know how to take care of him, and he just kind of gives up and never moves throughout the game. So I'm assuming the kid just stayed there to die. It's probably more morbid than it really is, but whatever. In this one, you also have to deal with Team Rocket, who suck. They just really suck in this. They have a whole bunch of plans, and because the police force is just woefully inept, it all falls upon you as a 10 to 14-year-old boy and his little monsters that he's collected along the way. I just want to talk about the police force really quick. You see them in the game, and they're investigating Team Rocket, or at least one of them is, and they seem just completely disinterested in actually catching Team Rocket. And it really does just fall upon you as just this random child who's cast out in the world, who clearly doesn't have a father because you never see him in the game, and you have to upend an international criminal organization. I don't know why all of this is put on your shoulders, but apparently it is. Gary seems completely disinterested in helping you, like he's just running off being a dick, constantly just jumping in the way and getting into trouble and whatnot, and making your life just a little bit worse than what it is. It kind of sucks. I mean, Professor Oak doesn't give a shit. He just wants you to fill out his stupid encyclopedia. And he's like, "Oh, I'm too old to do this, so here you go." But the guy has no problem making it through the Elite Four and just the maze of hell that they make you go through in order to get there. Yeah, Oak's got no problem with that, but he can't walk around and just collect Pokemon. That's apparently way too hard. I mean, it's not like you even fight them yourself. You have other monsters that fight for you. So Oak really didn't have to do anything except for, walk. And he can't pull that. I'm sorry. I'm going to move on to something else. So after you're done with all the gyms and everything, you can still go and try to collect as many Pokemon as you can. The thing that I don't like about Yellow is that its Pokemon selection is closer to Pokemon Blue than it is with like Pokemon Red. I would have thought there would have been more crossover to it, but there's really not. It's still very dependent on you having a friend who wants to play the game along with you. And by the time Pokemon Yellow came out, that was sort of gone. With Pokemon Red and Blue, it got huge really fast. And I remember all my friends had it. And by the time I got it, no one was really interested, so no one to really trade with. Also, nobody had a link cable either, so yeah, we were really screwed. Definitely not prepared for the whole Pokemon craze. But I will get more into that later. Uh, that's pretty much the story, though. Once you defeat all of the gym leaders, you can go on to the Elite Four. And let's talk a little bit more about them. So before we get into the Elite Four, I just want to say the Victory Road thing is goddamn annoying. It's another puzzle that you have to get through in order to get to the Elite Four. Thankfully, there is a Poke Center along the way, so once you've gone through the Victory Road, you can just heal up and recuperate, buy items, that sort of thing. That way, you actually have a chance at beating the Elite Four. And you can't go back to heal up, so you have to beat them all in succession. It's not too hard. They, for the most part, have weaknesses. Like the first master, she uses mostly ice Pokemon, so you can just use an electric Pokemon and take them out. The next is mostly fighting, so you can just, use a psychic Pokemon, take all of them out. And then Ghost, you can use your Psychic Pokemons again to take out the Ghost Pokemon. Then you get to the Dragon ones, and I found that Psychic kind of works pretty well against the Dragon Pokemon. There are a few hiccups in that, just because you have some leaders, or some Pokemon type, not necessarily some leaders, some Pokemon type kind of throw a wrench into the works, so you can't just use the same one during each of these fights. Or you can, but it just becomes harder at certain stages. I'm, of course, just describing how I went through this. I'm sure everyone else has their own strategy for doing it, and those strategies probably work pretty well. There's a lot of customization in this, so you can figure out what team you want to go through with. You can make it more difficult for yourself or easier for yourself. I think I made it much harder than it probably had to be. I also had my Pikachu was way over leveled compared to everybody else. I also didn't evolve him during this. I believe you can if you get a Thunderstone for your Pikachu. You can evolve him. But then he stops following you around, and it kind of defeats the purpose. It follows more along the lines of the anime if you don't evolve Pikachu. Also, you don't get to turn around and ask him how he's doing. That's always a fun thing. You just turn around, talk to your little guy, a little box will pop up, and you kind of have a little cutscene of how much or how little he likes you. It's kind of cool to see that. The part that I really ran into a huge problem with the Elite Four was the Dragon guy. He kicked my ass repeatedly, and it took me a while of just going through this over and over again to get up to where Gary was. And of course, after you beat Lance, he's like, "Oh, yep, you would have won, but Gary beat you." And then you go in, you fight Gary, and it's not necessarily a hard fight, because he kind of uses the same Pokemon throughout the entire game. But it does get kind of annoying at the end, especially if you have some that are much higher level. Some of your Pokemon are higher levels than others. I had 3 of them that were over level 50 and then a bunch that were in the 40s, and it made the battle a lot harder than it probably had to be. Either way, you take out Gary, Ash. Ash. Can you tell I'm recording this after not a whole lot of sleep? Anyway, Oak shows up. He tells you how great you are. He scolds Gary for not doing things right. Then he leads you back to a computer to let you know that you made it into the Hall of Fame. Blah, 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 whatever. Then, after you've sat through everything, you can continue playing, and you can continue to try to catch all the different Pokemon. There are a few things that I didn't get into, like a few caves that are blocked off unless you are the Pokemon Master or Champion, whatever. Then you can kind of go in there and you have a chance to capture all the different, like the 3 rare birds that are in the game. You have a chance to capture them. You have a chance to capture Mewtwo and Mew and all that fun stuff. I never really... Well, I haven't recently tried to do that. I think I tried to do it when I first got the game, and I just didn't... I don't think I've ever actually caught everything. Caught a lot of them, but I definitely have not caught in all of them. At least in Gen 1, I haven't. This is a really fun kind of a starter RPG, just because you have a lot of fun stuff going on in it. It's just one-on-one battles. You don't have to worry about too many weird things. You can swap between your party members pretty easily. And the whole thing goes off of a rock, paper, scissors mechanic. So you even if you don't have an answer for every Pokemon that your enemy might have, you have stuff that'll at least be like on equal footing. So yeah, you can build your team however you want. It's really a lot of fun to play. Okay, so let's get into just some of the weirder stuff that is in this game, and just kind of some of the fun memories that I had with this. So I started off by playing on Pokemon Blue when the game came out. I borrowed it from a friend of mine, and I would bring my Game Boy to school, and I would play it there. I think I was like a freshman in high school when I got it. So I had just a bunch of random Pokemon from that. And I remember really wanting like a Weedle, but I didn't have red, and like the Weedles were super rare in blue if you even could catch them, because I think back then we didn't know that Pokemon were excluded. We just thought they were like incredibly rare or something like that. It's been like 20 plus years, so I don't exactly remember everything. But I had the male Nidoran, and I leveled that thing just ridiculously far. I want to say he was like in the low 70s when I finally finished the game. That thing was just a tank, and it used to just truck everything. And my other Pokemon were just kind of crap, I think. I think I went with Squirtle as my starter when I first did it, but I'm not really sure. I have tried all of them at some point, but I think the first time when I played through it, I was Squirtle because I was like, well, it's blue, Squirtle's on the cover, or at least what he will evolve into is on the cover. I'm going to start with that one. And I remember for a while, in between me getting Pokemon Yellow and after my friends had kind of stopped playing for a while because all of them had beaten it or they had gotten as far as they wanted to go, and I was just borrowing their games. I think we'd stopped playing it for a while, and my friend Drew got the card game, and we started playing that. He had gotten me into Magic the Gathering, and then he quit playing that. I remember we would play like the Star Wars trading card game, I think is what it was called. And we played that for a while, and then we kind of stopped playing card games. And then Drew got me into the Pokemon card game for a little bit. And that one was kind of fun. I don't think we were playing it right at any point in time, but I remember that one being pretty easy and kind of fun to get into. It was a lot like playing the games, where it was just really easy to play it. I don't ever remember getting too deep into it. I got way deeper into Magic than I did with the trading card game, but we played it for like a month or so, and then we just got tired of doing it because he just had his starter deck and I had mine, and that was pretty much it. So we didn't really buy any of the booster packs or anything. But in the trading card game, my favorite Pokemon was, I believe it was Tangela, because that one was just kind of fun, and it would paralyze your opponent. So that was pretty fun to play with. What are some other? I think that's pretty much all the kind of fun memories of Pokemon. So let me get into my final thoughts here. So going back and playing Pokemon Yellow, it was pretty fun. I don't remember everything from the first time that I played it, which is kind of a shame for a lot of different video games. But I do remember going back and just seeing how different the game was from what I remember it. And yeah, there were a lot of differences. I don't remember some of the stuff in the game. I didn't necessarily remember, collecting all of the starters when I first played it. I think I remember like not using Pikachu at some point in the game. There were a lot of weird things that I didn't remember. I didn't remember from the first time I played it that I remember experiencing now. So yeah, it's a fun game. It's an easy RPG game to get into. Most of the Pokemon games are pretty easy. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap things up. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and have a great day, everybody. Bye.